Hello, this is a chemistry cooking show. Today we're going to be talking about how rocket candy is made. I'll be explaining the different methods, including the way I would make it. Also, this is my first video, so sorry if I make any mistakes. So let's dive into this interesting topic and why it fascinates me so much. So let's start it off simple. The most traditional way to make rocket candy is potassium nitrate and sugar. First, it's mixed into a 65 to 35 stoichiometry ratio, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I know I am, of potassium nitrate to sugar. Now, it's then placed into a cast iron pan that is spread out that the sugar will melt faster, you know what I mean? And then so the third step is when it gets all syrupy, you would want to put it inside like a flask or something like that and let it cool down, and then it'll be ready to use. The second way of making it is like really dangerous. So if you're not experienced, I really wouldn't recommend making it because there is well documented cases of it blowing up. So first we would mix the 65 to 35 of potassium nitrate to sugar, and then so it would then be also placed into a cast iron pan, and the sugar would have been spread out. When it gets all syrupy, that means it is ready, and then we pour it into the flask container, etc., etc. Fourth, when it would have cooled off, we would have added 1 or 2 grams of iron oxide to the mixture. This will make it burn a lot faster. Fifth, we would crunch the rocket candy up into the powder, and then it's done. Now, the third method is the way I would do it, and I find my methods a lot safer than others. First, so like I would do the 65 to 35 potassium nitrate to sugar, and then I'll make it into a fine paste. Second, instead of putting it into a pan, I would put it on a flask on top of the pan. Third, I would then spread it out using a wood stove so that no sparks could set me ablaze. Fourth, after it is into a perfect syrup state, I would take the flask and pour it into the container. Five, I then wait for it to cool down, and then so it's ready to use. Now, I don't really use iron oxide because I don't have access to it. I don't really have any way of getting to it at the time because, like the nearest Home Depot from me is like a little while away. So yeah, I just rather use the potassium nitrate and the sugar. And so that would be my first video. So thank you for watching and goodbye.